You are listening to CBT Beyond the Couch podcast, a podcast featuring two millennial CBT therapists, Ebony and Kanesha, taking you beyond the couch, discussing all things mental health, faith, trauma, relationships, hot topics, and much more.
We have been friends through high school, college, grad school, and are now colleagues working towards combining realistic, holistic, and faith-based interventions to offer healing to all.
While we hope you enjoy listening and learning from our podcast, it does not replace your own journey with your licensed mental health professional.
We hope you enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of CBT Beyond the Couch. I'm your host, Ebony.
And I'm Kanesha.
We back, y'all. Episode 5, checking in.
Yes.
All right. Y'all know what we do. First things first, got couch check.
Yes. Assessing how we're feeling, how our week has been on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 being like just terrible, 10 being amazing. So you want to go first today?
I'm like, I would say an 8.
Okay.
I did not talk about this before, but I host my own wellness retreats, and so this week we are prepping for that. I actually fly out in a couple of days, so I feel like just trying to make sure everything is perfect and like everything is together. I have to stop doing one thing like, oh, I thought about this, let me do this.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm just at 8 because I'm just a little bit anxious and overwhelmed with like what I have to do, but still like on the closer to 10 because I know like this is something that I've always wanted to do. So this is the second one. And if you guys go to my bio on Instagram, it's there. It's called Retreats to Reset. And if you guys want to, go international with me, do yoga, wellness, all those great things, come out at your girl.
Yes, it's going to be amazing. I can't wait to see the footage.
Oh, thanks, friend.
Yes.
How you feeling today?
Today, I will say earlier, I was probably like an 8.
Okay.
But I think now I'm a 10 after, I guess if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see like I posted some like old pictures of me and my family growing up and stuff like that. So like going through that and stuff like that really made me a 10 because I really love doing that and like talking junk about like how they did us dirty when we was little and the hairstyles and the outfits and stuff like that. So I really enjoy doing that with my family and taking those pictures and even like seeing the pictures of like my grandma like back in the day and stuff like that. So that definitely put me at a 10 today.
I know your grandmother has a very special relationship, so yeah. All right, so episode 5 is called Mother-Daughter Dynamics.
Yes.
We know that this month of May is Mother's Day, so we wanted to just take time to, I guess, honor our mothers, but also explain the type of relationships that we have with them.
Yes, I know y'all like every episode up until this point, especially we've mentioned our moms in some capacity. One of my friends thinks I'm obsessed with my mom. So yeah, these next few episodes will be us like actually talking more about our moms and why they are so important to us. So yeah,
I love it. So we have a few questions down. What first question do you have?
So the first question is why are mother-daughter relationships important?
I feel like, okay, so let's back it up. Let's explain, I guess, our mother-daughter, like, dynamics.
Yeah, our experiences with our mom.
Okay, so my mom, if you follow me on Instagram, you know I be having some videos of her, like, every so often. But my mom, as portrayed in the videos, she is my best friend. So our dynamic is literally like a best friend dynamic. And I feel like that is because growing up, my mom raised my older brother and sister and I as a single mother. But we lived in the home of my grandparents. So at that time, my mom was hardworking, leaving, go to work. When I come home from school, she would still be at work. So 9 out of 10, and my grandmother was the one who was like, come home from school, she's preparing my dinner, getting me started on my homework. And so my mom came home, she's checking up, making sure everything was done. But then by the time we repeating, going to bed and starting over. And so also too, I feel like she had to struggle with the dynamics herself with my grandmother, like my grandmother being more active because my mom was working so much. So then it came off as if my grandmother was playing the role of my mother.
Right.
And so, I mean, growing up, I called my mother by her first name. And I called my grandmother Mama.
Wow.
And so that didn't change until I moved to Augusta. But I feel like with that dynamic, we just had friendship.
Yeah.
So like our dynamic is just really friendship based. But now like that's my girl,
Yeah.
and she is a mother, and she is in the role and plays all the roles of a mother. But initially, the role for her was looked as if that's my homegirl, that's my friend.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Somewhat similar to you. So my mom had me when she was 16. So we also lived with, in our house, it was me, my mom, my grandmother, my aunt, and my cousin. And again, my mom was young, so my grandmother was kind of like, she was both of our moms because my mom was still growing up and, you know, learning herself, and I was growing up too. So she definitely was more so like, I won't even say a friend, maybe like a sister, I guess you could say. But growing up, I felt closer to my grandmother than I did with my mom. Like, and I do remember like my mom would take me to school sometimes, but like in my earlier years, my grandmother is the one who took me to school, picked me up. And then as I got older, I do remember my mom taking me to school and picking me up sometimes. But for the most part, when my grandmother was alive, like she was both of our moms. So when she died, essentially we both lost like our mom. But I guess after she died, like our relationship got like really, really tough. Because I guess we had to establish, then I've always called my mom, but establish like an actual working mother-daughter relationship, because again, like my grandma, like my mama was my mama, but my grandma was like the person who did the parenting, I guess you could say. Or my mama did the discipline, and financially, you know, she took care of me. But like emotionally, my grandmother is who I went to growing up. So after she passed, it was really hard for us to start like being each other's person emotionally. So, and that was my senior year of high school, which everybody will tell y'all that was a rough year. Because that was the year me and my mom was trying to figure it out. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not gonna go into details, but I'll just say like it was rough. Yeah. But I guess, and then even as I got older, so I moved out of her house when I was 18, and then that summer I went off to college. And when I got to college, like things got better. We would talk every day. But then even after I graduated college, or even when I would come home, like it would still be kind of hard. And then the turning point for us was, I want to say I was like 23. Yeah, and we went to therapy, and that really like, I think we both were able to talk about our experiences with each other, and that was like the big turning point for us. I'll never forget what she said this, because to me this was like the light bulb went off. She was like, I can't remember if she said I made her feel this way or if she felt this way, but she felt like she wasn't good enough to be my mama. And that like really like, it was like, dang, like if I made you feel that way, like I suck. But at the same time, like I didn't mean to make you feel that way. And I think for me that was the turning point of like really moving past all the stuff like growing up and all that. And I think that was really like the point of when we became like best friends, because you know like now that's my dog, like I don't do nothing without consulting my mama. So like yeah, so that's kind of like our experiences. Like, so I've experienced both sides, like people who struggled in their relationship with their mom, and then also people who like have great relationships with their mom. I've definitely experienced both sides, but I'm happy that we are on the positive side now.
I love to see it.
Yes.
I love to see it.
That's my dog for sure. But if you know, you know. It was rough that last year of high school. So yeah. So then back to like why that mother-daughter relationship is important. Why do you think that is important?
I feel like it's important because, and this probably can be just a me thing, but I feel like I embody her so much. And it's like, if you have this person in your life, make it be important.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, I honestly just, because on the back end, if my mom wasn't important to me, or we didn't have the relationship that we had, I truly feel like I would be lost.
Yes, same.
Like,
sure.
so I feel like it's so important because I embody just who she is so much, and just having her, I don't even know how the right words to say it. It's just, it's just important.
Right.
It's just important.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's just what I need to be the best woman I can be. So for her, yeah. I don't know, friend. I don't know how to wrap that around.
I think for me, I think growing up, I always like really, really wanted that relationship, like that mother daughter. Like, cause you see it on TV, you see the different like. I mean, I grew up watching like the Parkers, like stuff like that, or like the Cosby Show, like Claire Huxtable, like. So I desperately wanted that relationship. And I think for a long time I searched for it in other. I talked about having mentors. I searched for it in other mentors, but having that now with my mom, like it does not even compare. And I think it's important because it also sets the precedent of like how you interact with women at like as an adult. I'm able to appreciate women and have great friendships with women because I appreciate and have a great relationship with my mom. Whereas if I didn't, I would probably view like relationships with women in other like in friendship capacity as negative because I had a negative view of women. Or I would have. So I think that it really just sets the tone of how you are just in relationships with other females, I guess.
Yeah.
But also I do think, like you said, it's just important. It's like you really do as you become older, become like your mom. So like the fact I'm happy. That's why I say I'm happy that my mom got to a great place because if I was just like her and we didn't have this relationship, I would probably not like myself. But because like I love my mom and we have a great relationship, like I love like who I've become and who we've become. So I think that's why that relationship is so important because it does you ultimately do become your mom.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's why it's important.
We touched on it a little bit, but was your mom strict or very lenient?
I think I would say for me, maybe a little bit of both. Maybe because like I wasn't a bad child or whatever. But my mama was a little strict. Like she didn't play the radio. She still don't play the radio. Like so, I would say strict. But I think I did get away with like some things growing up. Especially because my grandma like yeah. So I would say a little bit of both, maybe more so on the strict side. She's definitely way more lenient now, especially with my sisters. But with me, I feel like she was a little bit more strict when I was younger. So yeah, what about you?
I feel like it's kind of how you just explained it. Since your mom, with your mom, you was her first.
Yeah.
With my mom, I was her third, so I got the more of the leniency.
Yeah.
So, but she was strict, but only in a sense because she wanted to protect me. So if I wanted to go out with my friends, I had to make sure. Like she literally told me, like, if you want to go hang out with Joe and Frank, you have to let me know within 2 business days. Okay. Don't come home today. Ask me, can you go down the street? Because I need to make sure who their parents are, what they do. Do I know them? Give me 2 days to process what you about to do.
Yeah.
So she was strict in that sense, or I couldn't really. I mean, I had social media then, but she wanted to know what was I doing. But at that point, I'm like, girl, I'm a teenager. Like, what you want to know? Or like strict in a way. I remember, I'll never forget this, and they kind of like freaked me out a bit. So I was in trouble for inappropriate text messages with my quote unquote boyfriend. And she went through my phone and seen it. So she took my phone. But later that week, we went out for pedicures together. So I'm like,
Yeah.
how am I
In
on
trouble.
punishment? But she like, I took your phone because of what you did, like, because you misused your phone. But me taking you, I give you a pedicure, that's still letting you know I love you and I care about you.
Makes sense.
So it was like, yeah. So she was strict, but only because she wanted to protect me, in a sense.
Yeah. You mentioned the social media thing. That makes me think about when me and my cousin, I think we was in like 8th grade. And I think back then MySpace was popping. So we was like, we really wanted MySpace. I don't even know what for, because we wasn't, like, when they let us get a MySpace. And then I think by the time we got to 9th grade, everybody was on Facebook. So I snuck and got a Facebook. My mom was so mad. And I was like, but is everybody from church on here? Like, I'm not about to put nothing bad on here. She was like, that's besides the point. You did it behind my back. Because I do remember that. And now I'm thinking, like, it's just Facebook. Like,
Right.
everybody from church, like, adults from church was my friends on Facebook. Like, but she was mad because someone behind her back. So, yeah, she was a little strict about that, for sure.
Okay.
It's funny. Okay, what's the next question? What do you think is the most important thing that a mother can do for her daughter?
I would say, which is funny because the words I'm about to use are like therapeutic words. Be having like a active listening, empathetic relationship.
Yes.
Having those two things. Because at one point, my mother, the empathetic part, my mother, I would explain to her something, but then she would try to give me her experience. And I'm like, hey, that happened to you
Yeah.
when you was
Yeah.
21. Now that I'm 21, let me explain it. So, like, she had to learn how to not always be ready to jump and put her shoe in it, but take it like, let me put myself in your shoes and see
Yeah.
how. But she was so ready to, like, well, don't do that because when I was 21,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey, it's different. This is my life. Like, take a step back. But at the same time, she would actively listen to me. So, like, that is so important in relationship with mother and daughter. Just like actively listening
Yeah.
and being so empathetic.
Yeah.
Like, you, if it's not empathetic, I feel like it's just gonna become like a disciplinary type relationship.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That makes sense.
what about you?
I think for me, the most important thing that a mother can do for their daughter is be present, not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually, all the things. Being present and being understanding and supportive. I think those are the most important things, because when you do those three things, like, your daughter can trust you, and then your daughter can come to you about anything. Which is where, like, with me and my sisters, like, we go to my mom about everything. Like, probably some stuff she'd be like, I do not need to know this.
Right.
But because she has been so present in our lives, and because she is so understanding and supportive, we go to her about everything. So I think, like, that is the most important thing that a mom can do for their daughter. And just like I said, growing up, because she was growing up as well, she was present physically, but I feel like emotionally, that's where we kind of there was not that connection there. So to have that now, I feel like that is, like, super important, because I feel like that's what I longed for when I was a little girl. So, like, being there emotionally, being present emotionally.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Do you want to be a mom?
Do I want to be a mom? Yes. To one child. Maybe two. But definitely no more than that. Honestly, though, I really only want one kid. And that is because of the whole labor and delivery stuff.
Yeah.
But definitely don't want to be a single mom. So I would definitely have to be married to an amazing man before I even consider having anybody kids. Like, we need to be married for at least 4 years.
Yeah.
So I'm probably gonna be about
Yeah.
30-something by the time I have a kid. But yeah, I think Yeah. So I do. I love kids. I love the small babies. Before I used to be scared to like hold them because they so small.
You did
Um,
good over the weekend.
yeah, I was scared, but it was nice. I text my sister. I was like, please have a baby. But she was like, girl. But yeah, I do want to be a mom. Definitely when I'm older, I could not imagine having a kid right now. Like, I need to grow up just a little bit more.
And that's just crazy to think like our mothers,
Yes.
like
Yes, my mama was 28. She had 3 kids. I could not fathom having 3 kids right now. Like,
yeah, my mom
whew,
was 26. She had me, and I literally told my like when I was 26, I was like,
I couldn't fathom
you
it.
had me, and I was your third one at 26.
26. I would have lost my mind on the first one at 26. Mm-mm. But I also think it's just because we hadn't had to experience that. I think when people that happens, you do tend to like figure it out and grow up. But
Right.
yeah, I couldn't imagine. I thank God for keeping me. Cause I couldn't imagine it. Like, and I'm not saying that we wouldn't be. I feel like we would be great moms, but I just could not imagine being a mom in my 20s.
I don't think I want to be a mom.
Really?
Like, I know I'm capable of being a great mom. I love children, but I feel like I would have, well, two things. First, I feel like I have, well, maybe more than one thing. Let me just break it down. First things for sure. I feel like I would have extreme separation anxiety of being Ebony with no kids to the switch of being like full time, I'm all about you groove.
Yeah.
And like in my mind, I know that people do that. Like it's a switch. Like you have to do it. Well, you're supposed to. Not all moms are doing that.
That's true.
But I'm free right now.
Yeah.
Like if I want to get, hey, I'm about to go
That's
to
true.
Panama tomorrow. Then I might go to New York the week after that. I can do that
Yeah.
without having to consult how I'm going to do the baby come with me or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Even as just a single woman, like having a spouse, how does that look? I'm just having this whole dynamic of how do I look being connected with something or someone else that is not me.
I can see that. I feel like I have some of that too sometimes. Yeah.
So that's the first thing. And second, as you mentioned, the way black women, I'm pretty sure numbers have changed now, but the mortality rate of black women giving birth, that scares me.
Yeah.
Like it literally scares me.
Yeah.
And then the last thing, I feel like it's just trauma from my family dynamics, just seeing how many single women in general who had to raise kids by themselves. Maybe I'm the one to break this generation curse.
Listen, I'm praying if the Lord's want me to have a baby, I'm gonna have to break that because I can't do it.
So then when I'm dating and men asking me want kids, I really can't see myself being a mother until you show me how you are as a husband.
Speechless. Like exactly. No, really.
So don't ask me about kids until you can show me that you.
Yeah.
I did see something recently on Twitter. It was like, women wait.
Girl.
You already know what I'm about to say?
Yes. That was ignorant.
And I was like,
I showed my mama. I read that to my mama last night, and she was just like, "This is clearly an idiot. Like,
I was like,
why are you giving this platform?" Like,
right.
Yeah, that was dumb.
So I was like, okay. I started thinking like, okay, should I see myself being a mom without having
No.
the man?
No.
Like, it was just okay. So I'm
that was
tripping.
just ignorant. No, because I think what that post didn't consider is the effects of like just why would I like it just didn't make sense. Like you want to bring a child into a home where there is a loving and present mother and a loving and present father who also love each other and are present with each other. So who like just being a mother to be a mom, like that makes no sense because I want to have a child that's in a loving home.
Right.
And not only me loving my child or the dad loving the child, but me and the dad loving each other.
Yes.
Because that's how you learn healthy relationships,
Right.
healthy boundaries, healthy communication, all those
They
things.
see that.
Yes.
And they learn that.
Exactly. So that post was just, it was dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can find it so that we can like insert it
Yeah.
so you guys can see what we were talking about, because I was like, okay. But yeah. So all in all, I don't think I want to be a mother, but until I'm in a concrete, solid marriage, we can discuss it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Might need a surrogate.
No, really. I talked about that. I think my stepdad, he's like, that don't make no sense. But I'm like, makes a lot of sense to me. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't know. Like I said, because the whole like labor and delivery thing really scares the crap out of me. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
But yeah, it's interesting. Okay.
So with that, what characteristic do you want to carry on to your children or child from your mother?
Feeling real one and done. Let's see. I would want to carry on. I think just like how my mom makes us feel so comfortable with her. I think that's what I would want, because I do want to have a daughter, because I just love the mother-daughter dynamic thing. So I would want like my daughter to feel as like comfortable and as seen as like as me and my sisters feel with my mom. So I think I don't know what word that would be as far as a characteristic trait. But yeah, I would just want like my kid to just feel as comfortable as like we do with her. I think that's what I would want to carry on with my child, or maybe children. But I really am feeling one and done.
Okay.
And you, what characteristic would you want to carry?
I'm trying to find the right word for it. My mom is a very multi-dynamic type person. That's something I want to carry on, because my mom is a very spiritual person. She's gonna always consult God first and everything. But at the same time, if I tell her like, "Hey girl, I met this sexy chocolate man tonight," she gonna be like, "Ooh, tell me more. Let me see him. Ooh, he is sexy." Ooh. So like she can like give me like the full dynamic of everything.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I call her, I'm like, "Hey, I know we love the Lord, but I don't need it right now. Yeah. I need you to just tell me, like, just listen to me. Don't tell me that." She's still going to tell me anyway. She's still giving me the Bible scripture and what God says. But she also going to give me, like, the real life experience behind it. So I feel like I want to be able to carry to my child, if that happens, just being able to give them the leadership they need, but also the funness as well.
Even if you don't have a child, you can carry that on to like nieces and nephews.
Yes, that's what I'm doing now. Yeah. My niece loved me.
Yeah.
She texted me and said, "I love you." I said,
"Oh, that's so sweet."
Because I made her birthday invitations and she loved them.
Oh, I love that. Oh,
see.
So yeah, there you go. All right. Let's see. What else do we have? What question was that? Okay. What like advice would you give to someone who might be struggling with like their relationship with their mom? Like, how would you suggest that they improve their relationship with their mom?
Trying to think what happened. Cause it has been a time where my mom and our relationship did struggle, but for context wise, I, being full transparent, went to college. As you guys know from the last episode, in a relationship, I shacked up. Mom did not like that. Did not approve that. So she was like, "I support you as you are as Ebony. I can't support you with this shacking up. So now you got to pay your own bills." So she was paying my car insurance and my phone bill at the time. So she was like, "If you want to be grown, shack up. You take care of that."
Right.
we went maybe weeks without talking. And that's something that we don't do. We talk every day, more than once a day. So advice for a struggle relationship for that situation, if you already have, I would say first give time.
Yeah, definitely.
To look at the situation, what it is, because two emotions were put into it at the time. Like, we was rah, like, I won't cussing her out, but I was like, I had some, my chest was out, like, I'm gonna do this, I'm grown, oh, no. And she like, no, give it back to me. So, a lot of emotions were there. So, first things first, give it time. But if the relationship if you're watching this, if you're having issues with your relationship with your mother and the time has passed, I would say, as I stated, the most important thing, be empathetic. Go to the situation, looking at it from all angles, wherever the issue may be. And just remember, like, the foundations of what the relationship is: love.
Yeah.
So be patient.
Yeah.
Be kind with it. Don't be easily angered when you guys are trying to reconcile it or whatever. So I feel like just go back to the foundations of what love is to fix that issue.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great advice.
That's the only advice I got is love.
Yeah. I think I would say, I feel like in order to, like, if you already have turmoil and you're trying to fix the relationship, I feel like both sides would have to be willing to put in the work to fix it. Because I feel like I have some friends whose moms doesn't see, like, where they dropped the ball, and a lot of parents say this, and it is true, like, you did try your best, but if your best didn't make the child feel seen, or it wasn't enough, you have to accept that. So I think, like, parents or moms need to accept that, like, yes, I tried my hardest, but sadly, my hardest wasn't enough for this child. So what can I do now with you as an adult, or whatever age you are, to, like, make up for that lack? So, and I say that because, again, like, growing up, my mom was not emotionally present. And I felt like that's what I needed the most. But our turning point, again, was going to therapy and talking about it and getting both sides. And again, the kid has to be understanding too. Like, I had to forgive my mama for the things the way she made me feel growing up, and she had to forgive me for the way that I made her feel. So you have to be willing to forgive each other, hear each other out for sure, and accept each other's side of the story, because what you thought may have been going on may not have been what the child felt like was going on. So y'all's stories might be different, but just accept their story and figure out, like, what can we do to move on for sure. And again, like you said, be patient for sure, be understanding, and be willing to put in the work, because it's not going to be like an overnight fix. Like, it's going to take time. Like I said, me and my mom, I think we went to therapy when I was 23, I want to say it was, like I said. And I'm 28 now, and, like, our relationship couldn't get any better, but it took time for it to get here. So just being patient, being willing to put in the work, being understanding, accepting each other's side of the story, and just, like, we can't go back and change our childhood. So just accept it for what it was and make the future better.
Right.
So that would be my, like, advice on how to improve your relationship. Therapy for sure. That, like I said, that, because that gives you the floor to have a mediator. You know, you get to hear your mom's side, your mom gets to hear your side, you get to talk about the similarities and the differences within, like, the stories, and just coming to a resolve. So I think that is one of the biggest ways to move forward. But like I said, I have some friends whose moms, they won't take that accountability, or won't hear out their daughter's side of it. So unfortunately, if that's the case, then it is kind of hard. You just kind of have to set boundaries and figure out how to move forward. But if your mom is willing to put in the work and you're willing to put in the work, then I think it would get better, for sure.
I feel like I can relate to that too, when you say about, like, the two different stories, like, accepting the story for what it is for both parties. Because as episode 1, I discussed about my mom uprooted me and moved us to Augusta. And I had like some deep down hurt by that because in my eyes, I'm looking at her like, you trust in this relationship to relocate me from all my friends, the connection that I have right here, to be with a man. And so then with that came this big old culture shock.
Yeah.
With me going from, countryside to like the most prestigious school in Columbia County.
Yeah.
Where there's, 90% Caucasian. I didn't fit in.
Yeah.
So now I'm having this culture shock, and then I'm looking back like, dang, I wouldn't have struggled like this if I was back at home. And the only reason why I'm here is because my mom is in a relationship.
Yeah.
But now full circle and being like 28 years old and having this conversation with my mom, like, hey, like that really like rocked my world a little bit because I had a culture shock. And she's like, at that time, I knew me relocating you was going to be the best thing for you as an adult.
Yes.
Because now, without a doubt, like, me being relocated opened up so many more doors for me, and like leadership and how I'm able to just present myself in a room full of other Caucasian people. Right. I know how to work the room and things of that nature. So like seeing that both sides, like it took us a minute because I struggled with that for a long period of time. I didn't tell her, but as I know my girl, like, I don't like when you did that, but I get it.
Yeah, I almost experienced that because my mom almost moved us. But I think, as teenagers or kids, we don't realize this, but as an adult, I can understand, like our moms don't want to be single parents. So, like, they want to have a family and be loved by a man. Like, the same thing we want. They want to be married with their kids. So, I think as an adult, we can understand it, but as a kid, it's just like, you changing my life.
Right. Like, really.
So, yeah, and I'm grateful that, like, we didn't end up moving because I can't imagine where I'd be if we did.
Right.
But, yeah, I think, like, looking at it from both perspectives as an adult does kind of help. And the fact that your mom was able to have that healthy dialogue with you, it shows, like, healthy mother-daughter dynamics. So, yeah.
Right. She could have been like, I can't believe you.
Yeah.
Type, like, but she was
understanding.
empathetic.
Yeah, understanding each other's sides of the story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. What is one thing like you truly love about your mom?
I'll say, and I feel like a lot of people can attest to this.
Mm-hmm.
If you tell my mama something, she ain't telling nobody else. I think that's what, like, a lot of people, and yeah, she know a lot of people's business, and I'll be like, wait, let me tell me. She be like, girl, no, like, it's none of your business. So I think that's one thing, like, I can, like, go to her and tell her something and I don't have to worry about the family knowing about it, you know what I'm saying? Or if something happens, I don't have to worry about her calling her sister's group chat and say, child, guess what Kanesha done did? Like, and I hear so often, like, especially at work, like, kids saying, like, I just wish my mama would not tell my aunties or other people, like, my business. And I think, for me, I never realized, like, how blessed I was to have that, because she didn't do that. So I think that's one thing, like, I would say, other than this, like, feeling safe around her, because I think I've already kind of talked about that. So that would be the other thing that I would say that I, like, love the most about her. Like, she's not about to be out here telling my business, unless, it's positive and she's just proud. But if it's something that I want to keep private, she'll 100% keep that private. So I think that's what I love about her.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What about you?
One thing for I might have two. One thing for sure, judgment free.
Yeah.
Like, I be coming to her with some stuff like I know she should look at me sideways about. Like, I remember even calling her when I got arrested. I'm like, I knew, like, okay, she about to, like, give it to me.
Yeah.
But I call her and tell her what happened. She's like, all right, your dad and I are coming up. Ask them, can they give you a jacket? Because I know you cold. I'm like, Mom, I'm in jail. How they give me a jacket? Yeah. I'm in jail. So let me bring you one. They'll give you one. And I'm like, but she didn't have no type of rebuttal about, like, or even my relationships. Like, I'm like, hey, don't disrespect my ex-boyfriend. she was like, you must not be a part of it. I'm not judging you. But stuff like that. Just judgment free. But also, too, a thing that I really, truly love, maybe it's sad because I don't want to grow out of it, but I can still be like a little girl with my mom. Like, I can still, like, when I have a rough day, I can go to her and, like, literally, like, crawl up on her and be like, man, I really feel like I'm feeling bad. Or, like, she'll just, like, or she'll see it on me, and she'll just, like, just come lay on me, and she'll just, like, rub her hand through my hair, and I'm like, I love that for me.
Yeah.
Or, still being a little girl. It's like, it's, my mom and I, like, we grew up, like, sharing the same bed, so, I like that, too, like, this separation part, so, like, even now, like, yeah, we can call them, like, we'll watch a movie together, like, that's my girl, it's nutrient, it's like, it's give me power when we together.
Oh, I love that phrase. We have some great moms, for sure.
We do.
Yeah, I think I grew up, I slept with my grandma up until I was like, probably like, I don't even know, too old to be sleeping with her. But I think my mama was in there with us too. I think it was us three. And I think it was probably just a queen size bed. So yeah, I had that experience too. So yeah. And I think, I didn't like say much about it, but my mom is such a great mom because her mom was a great mom. So like, yeah. No. But yeah, my grandma, and granted, my grandma had 7 kids, so I think the older 4 experienced a different type of mom than my mom is the baby, so a different type of mom than the youngest 3, but to my mom, she was a great mom, so my mom was able to be is able to be a great mom to us because of that, so yeah.
I love that. I'll let my mom talk about her mom on her episode. I'm not going to cross-contaminate.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure my mom will talk about my grandma too, but, all positive experiences for us, I believe. So, yeah.
Also, too, we didn't write this down, but I love how our moms are great moms to, like, our friends.
Oh, yeah.
Because just this week, I was, like, super hungry. I was like, Kanesha, she's like, you can go to my house and eat dinner. Like, I was like, well, ask your mom first. Knowing that she probably didn't care.
Yeah.
But, like, or even, like, we walk outside and I'm like, going to my mom's house, Kanesha, just come over too. Or, like, the advice they give to for both of us. So, I feel like they're just great moms to us, but also to, like, our friends as well.
Oh, absolutely. I agree. I was just thinking I cooked breakfast for my mama this morning and took it upstairs to her. Like, we might have a little enmeshment, but
I love it.
But that's my dog, so yeah. And she literally expects me to cook breakfast for her on Sundays. That's how bad it is. I stopped for a while. This is actually the first time this year because she got so used to it last year. I'm like, I'm about to show you something because I am not.
Let's cut this part out. My mama gonna be like, well, Kanesha cooking for her mama. Why you up here cooking for me? I don't need none of that.
Yes.
I don't need that.
But yeah, we have some great moms. And I'm excited for Mother's Day. So I've already been planning her gift, so she's going to probably cry.
Yeah, I can't wait to see her expression for that. Can't wait.
Yes. All right, well, that kind of wraps up our conversation about mother-daughter dynamics. So you ready for this coping skill and affirmation?
So the coping skill for this week is talk to someone you trust.
Yes.
Vent. With
your mama. Do it with your mama.
My mama gone. I probably said before, but if you want to know anything about me, where I'm at, what I'm doing, you call her, she gonna tell you. Well, she gonna know. She probably gonna tell you, but she know. Like, something tragic happens to me.
Yeah.
She already know. Like, no one can come to my mom and be like, well, Ebony did this when she was this. She be like, okay, I know. She told me. Because, like, I tell her everything.
Right.
So I always tell, like, if anything happened to me and you have to bury me and people come to my funeral saying, like, all these, like, type stories about me, I want you to know.
Right. Yeah.
So, if they put me on the news saying I did this, you be like, I already know.
Yeah.
Big dog already told me.
Yeah, that's good. I think me and my mama talk so much. Sometimes in conversation, we like sound like twins and we be saying the same things. Or if other people in a conversation and they say something, we can look at each other and already know. Like we are literally like best friends. So yeah, definitely talk to your mom. And then the affirmation is everything I want wants me more. And I love that because for like people who are struggling with maybe they want their relationship with their mom, but they don't have it. Like you want it and it wants you more. You just gotta put in the work. So
Put in the work.
yeah.
All right.
Well, we hope y'all enjoyed this conversation about mother-daughter dynamics. We hope that you take this and maybe have a conversation with your mom. With Mother's Day coming up, spend some time with your moms and just really work on having a positive relationship if you don't have one. If you do, you blessed like us. So just continue to make it better. Yeah. So as we say every week, that we hope you guys take these skills beyond the couch. Bye.